Hello YouTube and welcome back to GrunfWorks Plays KSP, and in the previous episode we have successfully deployed the surface experiments with our bouncy lander on the surface of Duna. So that was in the previous episode. Bob Kerbin was very expert in terms of setting up things, and yes guys, I know that we have needed also Bill as an engineer to set up the solar panels and the communication devices because they would be more efficient. Fully agree with you. However, this is only a two-seater, so rather than making additional space for an engineer, I figured I just deploy the two and hope that amount of the solar panels that I will be placing will be enough. So, with that being said, this is just a short recap of the stuff that we have deployed on the surface of Minmus in the previous episode. And today, mainly our focus will be the return of this vessel back to Kerbin. So, as you can see, we are having a very fancy hydraulic deployed sometime during the 80s in this vessel while it was still in research. Apparently some Kerbal thought it was very fun to have a bouncy plane on the surface of Minmus. Well, you know, that's one of these Easter eggs that you get. Although the Easter has technically passed long ago, but doesn't matter. Communication device. Yes, Bob, you are happy. So, plant a flag and proudly call the site of GrunfWorks. Yes. Well, that's enough with some science deployed from the last time. So, as you can see, while taking selfies and hopping over on Minmus, it is time that we get back to our craft, get the collected science, and return back to Kerbin and call this a victory for the Kerbal kind. Right. So, grab, yes. Board, absolutely. Close the cargo bay and it's time to go home. Now, since I don't believe that this craft has the oomph to take off on the RCS thrusters, which I was kind of hoping it would, I will actually need to do the following. You see that hill behind us? We will use it as an on-ramp. Yes, we will be pulling stunts. So, long story short, what I intend to do, I intend to go that way and use that hill as sort of a, how would you say, yeah, like I said, an on-ramp. Basically use the ramp to just jump into the orbit. So pushing the RCS thrusters ever so slightly to make sure that we get to the hill. And I'm trying and I'm hoping I won't be destroying everything else in the process, so going ever so carefully. Yes, this is the hill that I want to be taking off from. And I should be taking eastwards, so yeah, I should be going southwards to get to there and then eastwards to get there. Okay, so RCS for a little bit of acceleration. I don't want to use our Delta V. We have 805 because on the return back there's a less chance we will use the RCS than the fuel, and the fuel is 805 meters per second, which I know for a fact that it's enough. However, I don't want us to basically use every single ounce of fuel that we have, and we have to also remember that we are hauling a massive amount of oxidizer, which we really didn't need. However, well, you know, that's life, so... However, Jebediah is an expert on doing things Kerbal style, so I have every confidence in him that he will be able to get us back safely and land on Kerbin. Right. Onwards we go. Okay, we are getting close. Initially I thought of cutting this drive out, but then again, in hindsight, I mean, I prefer to show almost everything apart from the boring maneuvers. And yes, there is some excitement to be had when you're driving with this. And as you can see, the plane is bouncing, not because there isn't any air that which reduces lift, but that we went changed the slope and then it just, you know, bounced a little. It continues to go into the motion that it has been set for it. Right, so we'll use as much monopropellant as we can to get us upwards. Easy on the bump there. Oh, 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 come on. Don't you be destroying the Nerva now. That's our ticket home. Careful. Ooh, whew. See? It's a good thing that I put that wheel underneath. Now we should be using the rest of the monopropellant to get us up, and maybe just a teeny weeny bit of thrust. But not too much, hopefully. I'm very sparing on the monoprop. Crew report, I was hoping it was a different biome, but we already had the science from this, so yep. We are slowly decelerating, and I doubt that we will have much more to go on, so I think I'll have to actually turn somewhere here on the slope, which I'm inclined not to do, but, well... what did you say, Jeb? You're okay to turn? Okay. Fair enough then. We'll use just a little bit of the thrust here. Alright, that should be enough. It's a big slope. Yeah, I'd prefer to just have it a little gentler. And then once we lift from here, things should be hunky-dory, hopefully. Okay, this seems like the slope has gentled a little bit. What do you say, Jeb? You ready? Alright. Okay, fair enough. Then, as soon as we pass this rock, we will probably just turn eastwards and we will be going for the takeoff. Let's see, where are we? Oh, this slope could be massive, so yeah, I might as well. Turn gently, gently, Jeb. We don't want to do the stunts, we don't flippity flops here. Okie doke. Right. 90 degrees, gentle until we reach desired heading, and then just thrust onwards. Okay, plane seems stable enough. Not more bouncing, good. Thrust, and we got it. Hit it, Jeb! There we go! And we managed to take off. Woohoo! Like a boss. Wonderful. Now the only thing that remains is that we ensure that we get our return to Kerbin. We don't have a lot of Delta V, but that should be plenty. Oh, look, and the Kerbin rise in the background. Oh, this is just amazing. Okay. Landing gear. Retracted. Check. And we have a apoapsis of 24, so that should be more than enough to get us back to Kerbin. Let's see if we can burn directly for the Kerbin periapsis, because that would be beneficial. Periapsis of 803 kilometers, that's still high. 173, it looks like we will have enough, so maybe I should just push for it. 803 kilometers, and maneuver node, if I want to circularize, it will be an additional, how much? Maneuver 2, 145 and 173. I should have enough, but I still think we should go for aero capture to save some of the Delta V. Okay, maybe I should take it here. Let's see, 914. Let's fiddle a little bit with the maneuver node just to make sure that we have it correct. 951. Oh, that's higher. No, no. 914. 882. That sounds good. 855, 833, 815, 802. Oh, 802. I think we're gonna stick with that and then just take it prograde until we get to a level which is right. Some 30, 40-ish. So I'm thinking around 54 kilometers, because that should do us an aero capture, but it shouldn't. It should slow us down significantly enough, but it shouldn't force us to land, and the heat wouldn't be too intense. So I think I'm gonna go with that burn. Time accelerating until the burn. Let's hope that this will be a first of many successful well, this is not an SSTO, but shuttle returns. So far, so good. Looks great. There we go. Wonderful. Onwards and upwards now. Time to leave Minmus behind and go back home. Bye Minmus, and remain ever so minty. Wonderful. Oh, I just love the... You know, I don't know how about you guys, let me know what you think, but I definitely enjoy the feeling of not going with rockets but with space planes. This kind of gives me, you know, a futuristic feel for the thing. So I really much like shuttles, SSTOs and all that stuff, but sometimes I'm very bad at assembling those, so yeah. Now, there's Kerbin. Find a good angle, or a photogenic angle where we should shoot for. Something like that. Yeah, I can go for that. Looks good enough. Something like... Alright. I mean, it's important. Selfies, that's our marketing material to sell the space travel to the rest of the Kerbal kind back home. Are we ready? Time accelerating a little bit. And a little bit more. I'm always careful on hitting this accelerator because you never know how quickly things will be showing up. And seems like this is the right level. Oh, there's Mun as well. Or Mun. Oh, I just love how the Astronomer's Visual Pack makes the Kerbin look. It's fantastic. Look at this. It's gorgeous. Screenshot, I guess? We're coming in. And I hope that our initial orbit should be enough to just give us just the right kind of passage to slow us down but not get us to the ground. So I'm hoping for an aero break rather than an aero capture. And I'm even thinking if I should be burning orbit retrograde. Maybe a little. Just to decrease our velocity, yes. I still want to leave some amount fuel in the tanks. Not need much, but if we decrease our velocity even by a little, that should be okay, yeah. Heating effects going backwards, because that makes sense. Let's pull up the air brakes. Jeb, did you put the plane in the reverse? Alright. Fair enough. 240 meters per second, we are getting thin, but I think we have lowered our apoapses significantly, so that's quite good. And the heating effects are not too severe, so I think this will be a rather successful aero capture. or aero brake, yes. I'm jumping into my own mouth. What can I tell you? 124. I think I'm gonna leave just a eeny-weeny little bit of thrust. Because, I mean, I intend to land on the plane's engines, and those are very efficient, so I adjusted a little bit. But yeah, 40 meters per second. That should be enough, hopefully. I mean, I'll find out. Shut down this engine, and yeah. And I will, for security reasons, pump everything forward. Because the point is to shift the center of mass forward to make sure that, well, I'll leave a little bit of fuel in there. I think that's good enough. The idea is to pump fuel forwards, because if we pump the fuel forwards, we will have for sure the correct amount, and the center of mass will be pointing forwards, ensuring that we have a rather nice capture. Or stability during the flight, that's the word, yes. Now we're going for another entry, and this time it will be the landing. So, guys, note that since this is the first flight of the craft, I will not be attempting to land on the Kerbal Space Center exactly. That's not my intent. I will be doing that maybe in the future episode. So if you're looking for a tutorial how to land exactly on the KSC, well, this is not it. Just to be upfront and honest about it. Yeah. So, we are experiencing some heating. And I don't know why, I mean, I see other people go and swing their shuttles leftwards and rightwards. Yeah, I don't tend to do that. I just like having this at a steady pace, which means I pick up more heat, but I also use a little bit more of the lifting body to make gentler bounces. I don't know which is the correct approach, guys. Do let me know in the comments below. What is your favorite approach when returning planes from the orbit, or even from different planets? How do you perform an aero brake with a shuttle or an SSTO? Please post it in the comments below. I will be really interested to hear about it, because I'm pretty sure we'll have a lot of different approaches. And as you can see, our apoapsis is dropping significantly. There we go. And I think we will do another pass, and then we will be doing the final landing, I think. I think this will be the final pass. I'll angle the plane upwards just to ensure that we have a correct approach. And this time I'm actually using the plane as one giant air brake, hopefully. There we go, looks about right. Okay, we are experiencing some heating, or our shuttle is becoming very shy because its head is becoming red. Cockpit. What do you say, Jeb? Oh, you're embarrassing the heck of it. Okay, fair enough. I didn't know. Sorry, buddy. Okay, heating effects, and our apoapsis is dropping rapidly. We're still going downwards, so I think this is it. This is the time we're coming in for the landing. So, as you see, I did like 2.5 passes, or, well, 2 passes. One with the actual, engine braking, and then 2 was sufficient enough to bring us back to the orbit. And our periapsis is starting to drop even below the horizon, so almost. Which means we are coming back down to Kerbin. Yes, good. and I hope the slope will be gentle enough. Now we are coming into the race. Air brakes versus the air resistance and heating. So good luck, Jeb and Bob, and Godspeed. To be perfectly honest, guys, I haven't done this enough times to be actually very confident about if this is a good approach or not good approach, but time will tell, I guess. We will find out within the next couple of minutes. Jeb and Bob are coming down. That's one thing is certain. I'm just preparing my drogue chutes and everything to fire at the first sign of trouble. I don't intend to use them. I would prefer to land this as a plane rather than a just massive parachute, you know, abort mode, but it doesn't hurt to be prepared. And besides, these drogue chutes, the point of them is to slow down plane from, you know, very high speeds onwards, so they're like smaller parachutes. Think of them like a complement to the air brakes. But I think it won't be necessary. Let's see. Heating is coming up. And sadly, guys, it seems like we will be landing on the dark side of Kerbin. I really tried to avoid that, but yeah. No going back now. It's getting a little bit hot. Jeb, Bob, I know, I'm sorry. Fortunately, it will not be hot, too hot. 1200. Oh, and we have passed the... When you're going below the surface of, let's say, 1100 meters per second, then the heating becomes negligible. So, you know, the only problem is that this will be a dark landing. So, yeah. But the air brakes are doing their job, and we will be re-enabling the air-breathing engines soon enough. We have a 2 Panther engine, so air brakes. Now I need to find a suitable surface to land. We're at altitude of 16 kilometers, and we will now plunge down because our velocity vector is here, so I don't want to keep my nose up because that would be stalling the aircraft essentially. So I'm trying to make it pick up some speed because of its aerodynamic and sleek profile. So I'm basically nosediving into the ground, and then I will be pulling up where the air is thicker and where I have actually sufficient lift over the wings. And look, I have 74 meters per second in the air breathing mode, so not a whole lot, but hopefully just enough to make a smooth landing. If I had more, I could be maybe looking to fly to the KSC, but right now I'm just trying to find a good enough surface to land. Let's see if I manage to do that. What do you say, Jeb? You're confident. Good. That fills me with joy. So, easy does it. 2.5 thousand meters. Passing 2,000 meters. Almost there. Passing 1,000 meters, and our surface velocity is 117. Our vertical drop rate is -10, which I would say is good enough. So it's time that we start doing the balance dance. Oh, I have only 12 meters per second. Oopsie. Let's hope my engines don't give out before we go. Landing gear. Oh, now I have 82 meters per second at this air level, probably. Okay, that's good enough. 180. I'm here, guys. You might think that I'm watching the ground. I'm watching the ground, but I'm also primarily watching my vertical drop indicator, which is next to the altimeter. It should not be more than, say, 5-ish. So I'm trying to be very careful about it. And also you have to see that at some point the ground is coming up, so the slope is coming up. So we have to be really, really careful from that perspective as well. 20 meters and... okay, get ready for the landing, and there we go. Brake, brake, brake. I'm sorry it's such a dark landing. Yeah, I know I couldn't have changed it, but look, we've stopped. Woohoo! Engaging the brakes, removing the air brakes. Crew report, nothing to report. Well, guys, that's pretty much. Let's see if we can squeeze some more science. Not really. Not really. What about you? Not really. Materials bay. Come on, give me something. Oh, 7 science. Nice. Mystery book. Good. So, well, with that, guys, thing being said, we are coming up to the end of the episode. As always, you know what to do at the end of the episode. Like if you like the episode. Hit subscribe, share this video, and let me know how you fly a shuttle. I will be really eager to hear that from you. And I will be talking to you again in the next episode. So, until then, thank you very much for watching. We've got a total of 394 science and 513 total science. We'll be using that in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. This is GrunfWorks signing off.